What's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, a flu test, an RSV test, or a test for anything else, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long-term issues and no long COVID issues. It is time now for the Sunday edition of the Pandemic Update for Sunday, January 21st, 2024. Normally on Sundays we do the wastewater update. While we are going to talk about wastewater today, we're not going to spend as much time on it today because there's quite a few news stories and there's some other things I want to point out. The second half of this video we will dedicate to wastewater. This will roughly be about a 18 to 20 minute video today. It's going to be a little bit longer today because we do need to get wastewater in. First off, if you are new to my channel, by all means, hit that subscribe button down below and give it a thumbs up at the end. This is where we talk about not only the daily COVID pandemic, but we talk about anything that could be a health threat to you. And you will see today, we're going to talk about a mysterious illness. We're going to talk about illness through a school. Yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. It's not just about COVID. So if you're coming here thinking, oh, he's fear-mongering, no, I'm not. I'm just keeping you safe and keeping you informed of what's going on. I'm just reading it straight from various different news websites, dashboards, health departments, wastewater sites. That's where we get our data from. It's not fear. It's pretty much factual information of stuff that really is going on right now and could be a threat to you. All right, our first news story today comes out of Virginia. Virginia State Senator Danica Roem has tested positive for COVID. She's participating in General Assembly session remotely at this time. I do not know of a prior case, but as time goes on, we're now in 2024, there's a chance she may have had a prior case, but again, I have not seen anything. Speaking of someone who's had a prior case, let's continue on to this now. The Prime Minister of South Korea has tested positive for COVID once again, and that is Prime Minister Han Duck-soo. He tested positive for COVID on Sunday. Apparently, he was at a World Economic Forum over in Switzerland. His office has added, and when I say he tested positive again, he did have a prior case. I searched my website, and sure enough, back in December of 2022, he did have a case that said Prime Minister Han Duck-soo tested positive. It was December 26th, and at that time he was 73 years old, so now he's either 74 or 75 now. I will update this thread to add his latest case of COVID. Then we come over to this. Mystery illness impacting resident workers at Balboa Park homeless camping site. This is in San Diego, California. So there is a mystery, some sort of an abdominal illness that is affecting dozens of people at the O-Lot safe sleeping site. Is being investigated by San Diego County Health Department. Don't know too much more about this, but it is a mystery illness that is spreading here. And apparently, 30 residents have fallen ill with gastrointestinal symptoms, and there are currently 370 residents there. So we'll have to see if that grows into something bigger. It's something we will obviously stay on top of. Then we move on to this now, and I wasn't certain whether I was going to share this story or not, but I figured, you know what, let's share it. Man sets record of testing positive for COVID 78 times in 14 months. You heard me correctly. This man has caught COVID and thought he was destined to die since he was already suffering from leukemia 14 months, and 78 straight positive tests later, he is still alive and still battling to shake off the infection. We've seen some strange things before, and apparently he is in Turkey. And yeah, this is not the first time we've seen someone that continuously tests positive. COVID, it throws curveballs. Every once in a while, it does strange things for certain people. You may get a wild variant that never became a widespread variant, but it hit you and it's doing things that other variants don't do. And in this case, someone tested positive 78 times in 14 months. We have yet another news story. I told you, it's a busy Sunday. 3 Yarmouth middle school students hospitalized after falling ill on school bus. Now you may be thinking, oh, this is up in Maine. No, this is actually in Massachusetts. Middle school students were taken ill to the hospital after they became ill eating a chocolate bar while on the school bus Thursday morning. Now this happened last week. I'm just finding out about it today, and I figured let's share this. This needs to be shown because you know what? It's something that's a threat to someone's health. It's something that we need to share with you. Yarmouth Police said the school resource officer at Dennis Yarmouth Middle School was notified around 9:10 a.m. that a student in the nurse's office was experiencing a reaction to an unknown substance they had consumed. The student reported consuming part of a chocolate bar on the bus before arriving at school. We've seen cases in the past, long before I've even started this channel and before COVID became a thing. We've seen cases in the past that, sometimes strange substances end up in these candy bars. It's why in October at Halloween, you should always investigate to make sure nothing is suspicious about the candy that you're eating because, sometimes it gets tampered with. Sometimes stuff gets hidden inside. It also says here 2 other students had consumed the same chocolate bar but were not showing any symptoms. So this is something we'll keep an eye on. Maybe it'll turn into something else. I will revisit this if I see anything else. Most time when I share stories like this, we don't get a follow-up, but we shall see. All right, moving on, I want to take a look at air quality for today. Air quality is something that impacts your health, and it is a problem around the world. Air quality, it can be bad sometimes. The Northeast states, the East Coast, not doing too bad today. However, the Pacific Northwest, you do have some bad air quality today, as does parts of California. California is better than what it has been as of lately. And then the Midwest, there's a little bit of poor air quality. And I expect as the week goes on, there is going to be poor air quality from Texas on up through the central states, maybe even into the Northeast. There's going to be a parade of storm systems. If you want to learn more about that, we have another channel. I've brought back the Climate Data Report channel. What do I mean by brought it back? Well, I actually started talking about it again. We had a video yesterday, and I'm going to do something this afternoon. We talked about how there's going to be going from drought to major flooding. Today we have to talk about the potential for multiple rounds of ice storms and a thaw that's going to happen in the east. All right, getting back to the pandemic, we have to talk about the national positivity from Walgreens. It's at 27.5%. And now we have to talk about this. Philadelphia Fire Department. You know how I've been showing the EMS call volume? I haven't been able to do that for a few days. The most recent update is Thursday, January 18th. And if you take a look here, they're not even tweeting anything right now. And I keep hitting refresh. I'm going to hit refresh again. Still nothing. So hopefully the person that updates this Twitter feed for the fire department and gives out the call volume, I hope they're doing well. I suspect they may have fallen ill. Hopefully it's not COVID, but hopefully they get well soon and get back to giving us updates. Let's do a live look in at Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Yes, there are some calls going. Not many calls. I see stroke. I see a couple respiratory illnesses. I also see a cardiac emergency. And Chester County, Pennsylvania, we do see some calls going on with respiratory difficulty and a sick person call. New Jersey, wasn't even going to show it, but I will. This is why we don't normally show it on Sundays. Only 59 out of 70 hospitals reported, 1,000 hospitalizations. And I must say, when all hospitals do report, though it will still be over 1,000, within a couple of weeks, maybe this week, or maybe the following week, we probably will get, this probably will become the real number soon because the dropping in New Jersey has been, it's been real. I'm not going to show any more data from here because, again, there's 11 hospitals not reporting. All right, you had to wait all week for this, although we did do some in the middle of the week. We're going to do a more comprehensive look now at what's going on with wastewater. First, BioBot. There's 4 regions here on BioBot. The Northeast region at this time is actually rapidly dropping for COVID at this time. You can see the Great Lakes, Midwest, it's dropping steadily. And you can see the South is dropping steadily. The West Coast is actually not dropping. You have to look really close here. Let's go to the last 6 weeks. You can see here, it's actually, yeah, it's leveled off now and maybe even slightly trying to rise a little bit. When we go to the 6-month view, yeah, it shows it's trying to rise a little bit in the West. All right, moving on from that, we have to take a look at this as well. This is the CDC page, and we are going to reference this a couple times. First, new sites, there's 88 of them. The lowest shade is this dark blue, that's 0 to 19% COVID detected. There's just 3 sites at that level. We would like to see that level grow significantly. Why? That would mean that there are lower levels of COVID going on. 20 to 39% is now at 32 sites. Again, that's another one I would like to see grow. 40 to 59% of this light shade of blue, that number has grown by 6% to 129. And orange, unfortunately, orange has grown as well. 60 to 79% of sites. That's 60 to 79% COVID detected. That's 429 sites. And a number we definitely want to see dropping, which is down by 14%, is this 80 to 100 shade red. That's 500 sites. We want to see that keep dropping. Last summer, it got down to, I think there were under 10 sites at one point. So we really want to see that number drop. Taking a look at the map here, you can see there is still far too many red and orange sites up and down the I-95 corridor to the East Coast, and even in the mountainous region and in interior regions. Then we come to Ohio. It is just filled with red and orange. I mean, just not good. Come on, Ohio. You need to get your levels down. Same thing with Chicago area. I do like to look in Chicago area, and let's take a look at a couple of these sites. Here's one Cook County site. It's 270,000 population, and it is rising at this time. And here's another one. Wow, actually, this is catching me by a little bit of a surprise. This is the big Cook County, Chicago site, 1.1 million. It was dropping. Look at this. Starting to rise again in Chicago? Unexpected and not good. Let's continue here. Another Cook County, 13,000. That's rising. Yeah, what's going on here? Here's one that's 217,000 population. This one has finally peaked and is dropping, but I say the word peaked. We have to watch. Will it start rising again? I don't know. You saw the big site in Cook County. And then when we continue on here, you notice here that there are other regions that are having really high levels of COVID. Wow, look at this in Utah. Just look at this. All these red sites. How many orange sites are there here? I'm seeing only one. The rest are all red. Wow, look at this. We're just clicking on sites here. Red, rising. Well, there was one that was dropping. Rising, rising. What's this one? Rising, rising. Utah is just really bad right now. Look at this. Box Elder? I mean, come on, Utah. You need to take this more seriously. If you're sick, get tested. If you're positive, stay home. If you're sick and it's not COVID, stay home. Stop the spread. Slow the spread. Wow, that's just totally ridiculous. And you can see the states that we normally can't show you, we still can't show you. Oklahoma, we got nothing for you. Arkansas, we are going to take a look at Arkansas on Wastewater Scan. Let's move over to Wastewater Scan just a moment, though. I do have to show you this. So this shows wastewater activity, and you can still see Texas is at very high. Illinois is very high. You just saw Chicago is starting to rise again. Don't know why you're starting to rise, because that, my friends, that is very unexpected. Pennsylvania continues to be very high. Georgia continues to be very high. Florida continues to be very high. Speaking of Pennsylvania, I forgot to mention something when we showed Philadelphia just a moment ago. There's something that's going to be going on in my city this week. I can't believe this, but it's going to go on. Number one, the auto show is in town. Number two, we have what is called down in Center City. That's like the downtown region of Philadelphia. Restaurant Week. Whether that causes COVID cases or not, there's going to be illness that spreads through that. And it's a way to get people to come in town during the colder winter months, which, let's face it, it's been very cold here lately. It's going to lead to more COVID cases. Alaska, very high at this time. Then, of course, we come back to Utah. You saw that. Utah is just really, I don't know what's going on. Utah is about one of the worst states we have looked at in quite some time. You get the idea here. There's a lot of places that are high. Maine, still high. There are some places that are moderate. Colorado and Arkansas is low at this time, but we're going to take a look at Arkansas in a moment. If you saw the pandemic updates last week, you know that we looked at a wastewater site in Arkansas. Let's get to that right now. And you know that they had something going on there. Here it is, Harrison, Arkansas. It's not a big wastewater site. It just has 15,000 population. But let's take a look here at their norovirus levels. And thank goodness, their norovirus levels are now starting to drop after they did have a significant rise. Don't know what caused it. I wish we had more wastewater sites in the area so we could investigate if this was going on elsewhere. And Incidentally, their influenza levels are still rising, their COVID levels are dropping, RSV is dropping. Not really any problems with anything else at this time. All right, continuing on, we're going to take a look at just a few wastewater sites in each region. We're not going to get to every state today because we had to get through all that news first. All right, taking a look here up in Maine, Portland, Maine. And we will see what's going on here. Remember, this is a place that's usually a summer town. That's usually buzzing in the summertime, but in the wintertime, there are people that live in Maine. There's quite a few people that live in Maine. And take a look at this. This is not good. So we're also seeing Portland, Maine. See that? You're starting to rise again as well for COVID. RSV continues to drop. Influenza continues to drop. HMPV, not much of an issue. Look at this. Norovirus in Portland, Maine is rapidly rising at this time. Not good to see. Hepatitis A is just continuous detections of that. No Mpox at this time, and not much problems with the other viruses. We don't really go into detail with some of these other viruses down below. Honestly, I don't know too much about them, so I don't report on them. Again, I'm not a medical licensed doctor or virologist. I'm just a reporter, reporting the news and data to you as I see it. Hi, SARS-CoV-2 in Boston. Look at this. And yet again, another major city, another area that's starting to rise again. That's 3 now that we've seen. What's going on here? Levels weren't supposed to be starting to rise again. We were supposed to see a continuous drop going into spring. So that's 3. Let's see if we find any more. First off, RSV is high. Influenza B is high. HMPV is it's high. It's dropping though, as is influenza. And norovirus starting to rise here as well. Hepatitis A, a ton of detections. And continuing on now, let's see here. You know what? Let's do another one. Let's do Stanford, Connecticut. Let's see. What are your levels? Look at this. Stanford, Connecticut, 140,000 population. It was dropping. Most recent update, starting to rise again. Could this be kids are back in school, people are back at the office, and now we're seeing a reflection of that? Maybe. I'm not 100% certain, but we're definitely, this is 4 sites now. Now, mind you, at this one, it's only 1 detection of a rise. That could change to a drop on the next update. RSV rising a little bit again. Influenza B rising a little bit. HMPV, not much of an issue. Norovirus was dropping significantly. Now it is starting to rise yet again. And let's continue on. We're going to go much further south now. I do want to take a look at Washington, D.C. Can we? We need to see what's going on there. What? Washington, D.C. So COVID was dropping. Now on the new update. It's literally going straight up again. What is going on here? RSV continues to drop. Influenza B went up a little bit again. HMPV up a little bit again. And you can see here hepatitis. There were some detections last year. No Mpox at this time. Let's go down to Florida. I hope we don't see Florida starting to rise. And we obviously have to refresh this because it's the wastewater scan site. It always freezes on us. Let's come down here to Florida, see what's going on. Then we're going to go out to the west. We'll see what's going on there. Let's just go to Orlando, Florida. How about South Orange County? Let's see what's going on there. Okay, COVID there is dropping at this time. RSV, it's high. You know what? It is rising a little bit again, as is influenza B. We can see there are no detections of Mpox at this time. And should we do one more, Florida? I think we should. I want to know what's going on in Miami. I'm really curious. Let's see. Miami at this time. Wow. COVID is rapidly rising at this wastewater site in Miami. 829,000 population served. See, this goes to show you. Not only does it go state by state, city by city, town by town, county by county. One county could be dropping, one city could be dropping, the other city could be rising. It really differs in your local community. That's why never, ever take the national trend seriously, because the national trend may not show what's going on in your community at any given point in time. All right, let's go west in Los Angeles, California today. This is 890,000 population, medium for COVID, but I gotta say, overall trajectory is rising, and yeah, it's trying to rise again. RSV is high but dropping, low influenza. HMPV, not much of an issue. Norovirus is rapidly rising at this time, and there is some hepatitis A detection and some Mpox detection. Let's go up to Oakland, California, or how about San Francisco? We can do Oakland too. Yeah, let's do Oakland. Let's see what's going on. There's a fairly big wastewater site. 740,000 population. You can see it is dropping somewhat at this time. RSV remains high, but is dropping at this time. Influenza is dropping. HMPV is rising slightly. Norovirus is dropping at this time, and no detections of Mpox at this time. Let's see what's going on in Las Vegas. Hopefully, we do not find rising COVID there, but let's see. Is Las Vegas right? Yeah. The overall trajectory, while it's high, the overall trajectory continues to be up, and that has been the case since November. RSV at this time is high, and look at that. New detection shows it may rise again. We'll have to see what the next one shows. Influenza B was dropping, perhaps rising again. HMPV, not much of an issue. Norovirus high, and hepatitis A is somewhat detected at this time, and no Mpox detection. All right, let's go somewhere else in the country. We're going to go to one more stop somewhere, and that is going to be in Kansas. We don't do Kansas enough. Let's go closer to Kansas City and see what's going on there. And that's going to be it, because this is a really long video today. 90,000 population, medium COVID. Look at this. Overall trajectory continues to be upward. RSV continues to be upward. Influenza B trying to start to drop. HMPV not much of an issue. Hepatitis A not an issue since December, and no Mpox at this time. If we did not get to your state today, I know we didn't do Texas, we didn't do a lot of states. We'll add it within the daily pandemic update this week. There's going to be some out in the wild pandemic updates this week. Be mindful of that. And hopefully we will do some at-home updates as well, where we can get in more wastewater sites, because we really need to pay attention. I'm surprised. There are some sites that are starting to rise again in major cities for COVID. That's concerning. Though nationally we may have peaked and it's dropping. If enough cities start rising, nationally, we may start going back up again. I'm not expecting that, but it's something we have to watch. It's a wild card. All right, if you like this long update today, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. If you know anyone who needs to see this, share this with them. If you got anything to say, maybe you're surprised at how many sites are starting to rise again, by all means, leave a comment down below. I will see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon. Bye-bye.